Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. Les Moonves is being accused of Hollywood-style sexual harassment going back decades. And it's taken this long to get this printed. And I think the only reason why this was printed was because it was by Ronan Farrow. Ronan Farrow is the guy that dropped the bombshell on Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein is now facing charges on multiple counts of rape. For anybody that wants to tell me that I shouldn't report on things that I find online or I shouldn't express my opinion, I'm not cursing, okay? I generally don't curse. I try not to. These people are sick. They're disgusting, twisted, manipulative, power-hungry brokers of opportunity in the entertainment industry. And this guy runs a network on TV. This is the key gatekeeper for mainstream media and what reaches television on the networks. Now, I recently lost my channel for a brief amount of time because I reported on what these two guys from the Cartoon Network were doing before they started making this cartoon show called Rick and Morty. And the Cartoon Network saw their pedophile content and said, I think that we can make some money and we can build an industry around you guys making a cartoon based on those characters. And it hurts my feelings because I like the show. There's enough good stuff on Rick and Morty to stand on its own. There's no reason to have the pedophile content in Rick and Morty. There's no reason for it to be there. Do you understand that? The show's good enough on its own. It doesn't need that. So that means that they put it in there on purpose. It was based on that. I lost my channel because I reported on it, but good news is I got a twisted, demented cartoon with almost 1 million views and 12,000 likes on YouTube that's been up for 6 years. I got them to take that down. So yay us. You helped in that. If you watched my video or if you shared that content on Twitter, anywhere online, man, okay, you're the one that made that happen. So I would have lost my channel if people didn't help me. I'll talk more about that in the future. I'm going to post some things to my backup channel, I think, about the whole situation. Because the content itself is twisted, and it's twisted enough that they'll kick me offline for telling you about it, but they'll host it and show it to millions of people on another YouTube page. So this stuff is deep. These companies are all owned. They're all linked up. Okay, it's a huge problem. I'm going to tell you more about it now. Again, shout out to Ronan Farrow, man. This guy's a wrecking ball, man. Okay, so the title of the article is Les Moonves and CBS Face of Allegations of Sexual Misconduct. I said that wrong. Face allegations. CBS faces allegations of sexual misconduct. I'm sorry. All right. So 6 women accused the CEO of CBS of harassment and intimidation, and dozens more describe abuse at his company. This is the important part to me. I want to focus on this. Intimidation. That word right there. Intimidation. Because the harassment is bad enough. I think that when I read this story, what I got was that these women understand that's what they have to deal with in order to make it in Hollywood. In order to be a part of the entertainment industry, these women have to be talented, attractive, and they have to put out. Or they have to get themselves out of that situation in a way that does not belittle, hurt, or demean their attacker. What kind of messed up world are we living in when that is what we can't allow this? You mean, you get that, right? Like, these people are now brave enough to come out. Ronan Farrow has found an outlet at the New Yorker that's willing to print what he is saying, and he's a Hollywood-connected person. Ronan Farrow wants to take these people down way more than I do, okay? Way more than we do. Ronan Farrow, this guy is on a mission, so support him however you can. The fact that he put his name on this and said, F Hollywood, I don't want to be part of this. Also, I'm here to take you offline. That's some Bill Smith stuff, man. Ronan Farrow deserves more credit than anybody can give him. Now, I reported on Tom Hanks being called out. I reported on those two guys that got me kicked off, Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon. Okay, people gave me some hard time and said, look, you shouldn't air out these grievances. And here's what I'm saying. The people that I talked about, they're not nobodies, right? These people are connected somewhere. They have large followings online. They've been saying it for a long time. I don't know why anybody would stand up for Tom Hanks unless it's one of Tom Hanks's fans. And they're not doing that. No one's standing up for Tom Hanks. You know? I think people know. I think people know at their core that this is true. All this stuff is true. And there's a pattern. Okay, so I'm going to read out some of the biggest allegations from this article. Okay, again, this is the CEO of CBS Corporation. This is the I network. Okay, CBS is the I. I've made that mistake in the past. It's not the Peacock. It's the I, the all-seeing eye. That's what station this is. This guy's been running it for like 30 years, I think. This guy oversees shows, or his company does, CBS, oversees shows like 60 Minutes and The Big Bang Theory. Now, they bring up 60 Minutes. I want to drop this in there. They have a culture of this. Charlie Rose was fired by CBS and PBS Public Broadcasting over sexual misconduct allegations. He's Jewish. Okay, I just want to point that out. This is on the Jewish Journal. Charlie Rose is a very famous Jewish journalist. He's proud of it. I'll show you that here later. Maybe I'll slip that in. Who knows? But he was groping people. He got on this chick. Her name was Rose. Sorry, Rose got on top of her. Her name was Ray Bravo. Rose groped her in the back of a car and got on top of her while they were on a private airplane. What the heck? Tell me, for the women out there, can you imagine a worse possible time to try to defend yourself from someone like this than being locked in a private cabin in an airplane 2 miles up in the air? 4 hours from any time that you're ever going to get off that plane, at least. Can you imagine? I mean, that's what these people do. That's Charlie Rose. 5 other women who didn't want to identify themselves out of Rose's power in the industry. And that's what I'm saying. This intimidation thing is all about this. These guys get these women into weird positions. They use their position of power to force themselves on the woman. And then she has 2 options. Okay? Either, be treated like a cheap prostitute, out of gratitude for having a powerful man give them an opportunity to work, to do what they're supposed to, to do what they've been training their entire lives to do, work inside of their career. Okay, here's an opportunity. So do you either want the opportunity, right, and be a cheap prostitute, give up your body and let a man use it because he gave you an opportunity, or are you going to find a way out of it? Now, if you find a way out of it, what the heck are you going to do then? Okay, because they're going to turn against you. You know that, right? I mean, that's what they're going to do, man. You turned them down. It doesn't matter how well you can wiggle out of that situation. You've turned this person down. They don't trust you now. You're not part of the game. You're not in. You're not going to be passed around now, and he knows it. The whole point of the game is to pass you around. To the producer and the director and, other people in other industries. That's why Weinstein, that is how Weinstein spiked all those other women's careers. People say they didn't know about Weinstein. You kidding me? They all know. I mean, of course they know. It's been going on for 60, 70 years. This is a system. Okay? It's not about Les Moonves or Harvey Weinstein. It's a system. And here they are. They know, like, Yvette Vega, Rose's assistant producer, Charlie Rose's executive producer, told the Post in a statement that she should have stood up for the women who Rose allegedly harassed. She knew. They know. All of them know. Yvette Vega, Rose's executive producer. This is about Charlie Rose now. I'm sorry. She said, "I failed. It's crushing. I deeply regret not helping them." I'm going to make more about this. I can't get this all in 15 minutes. I'm telling you, this is way deeper than that. Now, I want to show you some more stuff. It talks about how Moonves' personal assistant, his secretary, knew how he forced himself on this woman behind locked doors, behind closed doors, while they were in the same room together. He pinned her down on a couch, made out with her, and she said some stuff that wouldn't ruin his ego. She tried to get out of it without truly saying no. She's like, no. She spiked it, man. Like, when you read about the way the woman handled this, she was smart about it. She knew the game, and she was like, but I still have my limits here, and I don't want to do that. So she went from being one of the funniest people that was picked to make this TV show, okay, to being kicked off the TV show, weeks later, because she spurned his attack. She said no, okay, while his secretary was right outside the door. She said no, and then Les Moonves spiked her career, and then she went and got a lawyer. And then when the lawyer called CBS to say, hey, look, you may want to rethink this, they said, we'll give you a settlement and we'll also wrap it into this other deal. So they ended up paying her a half of what she should have made at the beginning. She starred in a miniseries that they gave her to make up for this whole thing. Then they buried it. So rather than giving her one, her big settlement, they paid her to do a shorter miniseries and paid half of what they owed. And then, they were done with her, I think. This is a long article. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here. I will revisit this again, okay? But I want to show you some more stuff in the meantime. Now, the whole point of that first article I showed you is that CBS has a culture of cover-up for anybody who's a man, and they promote men who had already been paid off settlements on sexual harassment. So they would pay off a guy's sexual harassment charges, and then they would promote him. So David Letterman was fired over this. Now, Letterman's not Jewish, but I think he's converting, and that's what the Times of Israel wanted to kind of point out in this article. Okay, he was giving out awards at some Chabad organization, whatever. I'm not going to waste your time. So we already had Charlie Rose, I said, who was affiliated with CBS. He was fired over sex misconduct. Letterman was fired over sexual misconduct. This guy named Pat O'Brien, nobody knows about him, but he was on CBS for I think 30 years. He was a sportscaster for 15 or 20 years. And he was fired over this stuff. He was a blackout alcoholic and says that he has no idea what he was up to. Told that to Oprah Winfrey in 2014. This is who CBS is hiring to run their networks. This is who talks to you on TV. This is why the TV's failing, because people know it's just a group of degenerates, and they use their position to make sure that you don't get information that you should get, and they use it to run a culture of cover-up where they can give out opportunities to women and then sexually attack them and then spike the news story whenever it happens. And Ronan Farrow blew it up, and I'm here to tell you it's true. Now, if you remember, Charlie Sheen worked for CBS. And there's a whole bunch of stuff attached to Charlie Sheen. Okay? And he was giving people AIDS. Right? Then you got Matt Lauer, who was fired, although that's on NBC. That's a whole nother can of worms, man. You should see all the stuff that's happened on NBC. No one has put together a big list of that, right? But we were talking about Charlie Sheen, AIDS, and Southern California, gay people places. Okay, so in Southern California, they've banned plastic straws. You can now face fines and jail time for violations. Okay? Now, you can't have plastic straws. That's a crime. You can do jail time, but it's no longer a felony to knowingly infect somebody with AIDS in California. How is that possible? Help passed by Democratic Senator Scott Wiener of San Francisco, who says that it unfairly punishes HIV-positive people. This is the guy, and that's him with a very large pill that I think that you would stick that in your butt. That's him on the left, right? Which wouldn't matter anyway because felons can vote in California now. What is going on with our world, man? It's time to clean it up. Till next time, it's Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.